Labor Day in Regina, always something special as the Bombers and the Roughriders get together. Only a playoff game matches the excitement of this annual CFL Classic. We're set to get underway. Trevor Kennard will kick off. The Bombers will have the favoring wind in the opening quarter. And on the return, this is Albert Brown for Saskatchewan. Brown sweeps to the right side, has some room, an excellent return as he's out near midfield at the 55. Forced out by Rod Hill. A 42-yard return sets the Saskatchewan offense up perfectly. With Stevenson and Moore the end, Coley and Aldag the guards, Mike Anderson at center. The outside receivers, Mark Guy, Don Narcisse. Inside, two great ones, Jeff Fairholm and Ray Elgard. The quarterback is Kent Austin. He's been hot. And his runners will be Lucius Floyd and Milton Jones. First and 10, Saskatchewan. Don Narcisse. Halfway to a first down. Defensively for the Bombers, some changes, but Williams, Mikolas, and Gray remain up front. Another Williams, Albert Williams, with Jones, Battle, and Riggins of the linebackers. And the secondary with two great corners in Hill and Brown, backed up by Sampson, Petway, and the safety, Dave Bovell. This is 2nd and 2, Saskatchewan. First down, Jeff Fairholm.
Well, this is what Kent Austin has done so well in 1990. He throws the 10 to 12-yard pass perfectly almost every time, and on 2nd and 4, Fairholm over the middle. Easy pass to complete, easy pass to see for the quarterback. And after a great kickoff return by Albert Brown, Kent Austin picks up the first down.
From the 35, Austin on target once more, this time to Mark Guy. He's inside the 30, stopped by Greg Battle.
Mark Guy, really the only receiver in the offense that hasn't had a great year. There you see his numbers so far in 18 games. Not really that bad, but when you consider Elgard with 51 catches and Narcisse with 37, he does lag behind a little bit, and I think really to have the balance that they want, Mark Guy needs to catch about 6 or 7 balls today.
A gain of 6, this is 2nd and 4. Flag goes down. The coverage too tight on Elgard by Dave Bovell.
Dave Bovell, a rookie from Colgate University, getting the start in the middle safety spot for the Blue Bombers this year.
Pass interference, Winnipeg number 79, first down.
Referee this afternoon is Bud Steen.
And Bud meant number 29, which is Dave Bovell, in the coverage on Ray Elgard. You know, Winnipeg's defense likes to blitz a lot. They usually bring at least one linebacker every time, but Dave Bovell will have to come up and play a lot of man-to-man coverage. They don't mind doing it with him. He's a former corner at University. He can handle a man-on-man.
First and 10, Saskatchewan. The receiver goes down. The interception. Almost. Couldn't hang on. Bovell had it right in his mitt and let it get away.
Kent Austin usually doesn't beat himself as a quarterback, although he's given up 12 interceptions this year. That was a ball that maybe should not have been thrown. Receiver fell down, and Dave Bovell should have made the interception there, dropped that one. But Kent Austin, this is his forte all season long. When he's faced with 2nd and 10, he has a tremendously high percentage of converting that.
Roughriders from the 25 of Winnipeg. Long to the end zone, off the post. Fairholm was the intended receiver, so Dave Ridgway will trot out.
Now, Wellesley, not to suggest that he's not a pinpoint passer, but I think he could stand there all afternoon and maybe not hit the crossbar again from there. But nevertheless, a good drive to start the ball game for the Saskatchewan offense, and they set up for Mr. Automatic. Dave Ridgway, 37 of 45 in field goal attempts this year so far. 82% rate. I mean, only one guy better than him is Paul Osbaldiston in Hamilton at 87.
Glenn Sutter will hold. A flag is down as Ridgway pokes it through. The 3-point should stand. Oh, hang on. Procedure against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
They'll make him do it again for sure. What do they call Ridgway here? The robo-kicker?
Robo-kicker. 82.2%, as you mentioned. I mean, this guy has had a terrific season. He leads all scorers in the Canadian Football League with 137 points.
Saskatchewan, no end. 3rd down repeated.
So this will just be a little practice for Dave Ridgway. Made the first one, and from a little farther back. Numbers on Ridgway are impressive. 1 of 24 missed. From outside the 40. Inside the 40, I should say. Three 0 Saskatchewan. No doubt about it. The Roughriders score on their first drive.
You know, head coach John Gregory was asked yesterday if he was concerned that Dave Ridgway had kicked 37 field goals in 8 games, and was he concerned about the offense not taking it in for touchdowns. And, you know, he simply said, look, we'll take points any way we can get them, and Dave Ridgway is a huge part of our offense, and, you know, if he's kicking 6 field goals a game, that's, you know, a lot of, we'll take those 18 points. And, boy, I kind of agree with him, and so do the fans here at Taylor Field. They've been treated to some pretty entertaining offensive football this year.
The Roughriders have scored only 22 touchdowns this season. That is the second lowest in the league, but they're right up there among the scoring leaders.
But, you know, John, that statistic can be really misleading, because so often Kent Austin will get himself in scoring position where he knows that Ridgway can kick a field goal, so he will not take a chance by throwing the ball into a crowd when he knows that Ridgway can come in and get him at least 3. So sometimes those statistics can become very misleading.
This is Lee Hall on the kick return for Winnipeg. Hall slowed down at the 30 and drops at the 35. Here's the way the Bombers will line up offensively, with David Black and Steve Rotahuskers the tackles, Nick Benjamin, Bob Molly the guards, and at center it's Lyle Bauer, Murphy, and Hall are the outside receivers. Inside, a newcomer in Hughes with House, Burgess the quarterback with the runners Robert Mims and Warren Hudson. Blue Bomber first down at the Winnipeg 35. Burgess to the far side. Hall has the catch.
The defense that Tommy Burgess will come back and see his old teammates. And Vince Goldsmith, third all-time leading sacker in CFL history at the defensive end. Good linebacking crew. Tune Alapate in the middle, replacing Dave Albright. In the secondary, rookie on the corner, Stacey Harrison, the only rookie to start in the Saskatchewan lineup this season.
A 16-yard gain for Burgess on his first drive. And a first down out across the 50 at the 51 now for Winnipeg.
Well, I don't think Tom Burgess is excited about coming back and playing here. For those of you who have not seen Tom Burgess, he played for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. In fact, started 9 games for them at the beginning of the season last year, and then Kent Austin took over, took them to the Grey Cup victory. At training camp this year, Burgess said, I don't want any part of this. I mean, I am not a backup, and I don't want to do it, so they traded him off to Winnipeg. A good move for him. He originally from Colgate University, and 8 games. What's he done? Well, 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. He'd like to have some of those back, but he's got them in first place in East.
Yeah, the Bombers have 6 wins in 8 starts, so they're not doing all that badly. A flag down. Burgess slips and then looks long for Hull once more. And Suter was in the area, covering from his safety spot.
Coming on the play for Roger Stacey Harrison, there's a flag on the field.
Against the Bombers, procedure.
Illegal procedure, Winnipeg 57. Decline, second down.
The left tackle, Steve Rotahuskers, who moved a little prematurely that time. 3-0 Saskatchewan. Early in the opening quarter on Labor Day at Taylor Field.
Well, I tell you what, Steve, you know, Rotahuskers, when you're 6'6" and 270, you move just a little bit. Everybody sees it.
On 2nd and 10, Burgess gets a rush. Looks for House, too far. Suter has an interception. And he's dropped down at the 41. Another flag is down. Clint Suter had a great game last week. Picked off an interception earlier this season, and that's his second.
John, that's probably one reason why Tommy Burgess has now 18 interceptions.
Offside, Saskatchewan 99. Second down repeated.
Aha. Well, regardless that Winnipeg will get the football back, a ball that maybe Tommy Burgess should not have thrown. Suggested his interception totals unusually high for only 8 games, but that was a ball that should have been thrown, and he gets the break. Chuck Klingbeil, the left defensive tackle, number 99 from Northern Michigan. was offside, and the Bombers get another chance.
This will be 2nd and 5, Winnipeg. 10:28 to play in the opening quarter. Bombers now just across midfield. Far side, House. If he had the first down, it'll depend where they spot the ball. It should be a first down. And the Bombers take advantage of a Saskatchewan penalty to keep the drive alive. They have a first down.
Well, Rick House is having a great season. You know, he's been around for 12 years from Simon Fraser University. 8th season he has played with the Bombers, moved over to the Edmonton Eskimos for a few years, and then traded back to Winnipeg. But 27th catch of the year, 4 touchdown passes for Rick House, and boy, he has been a big part of their offense so far this season.
Touchdown per catch ratio is pretty good. Robert Mims, he's out for the 45. Gain of about 3.
This is an interesting matchup this afternoon. Robert Mims from Kansas, a rookie who took Tim Jesse's job away at the beginning of the year, is leading the Canadian Football League in rushing with 632 yards after 8 games, but the Saskatchewan defense is first against the rush. So Winnipeg, who likes to run the football, is really up against the tough defense this afternoon.
2nd and 7. Burton carries himself. He slides short of the first down.
Started that slide a little early.
I think he went down about 2 yards early, but he was safe, unhurt, unharmed.
Well, he only gets about 4 yards every time he runs with the football, so you know it's only out of necessity when Burgess takes off with it. He would much prefer to throw it downfield, but that time started to slide a little early and came up short.
This is 3rd and 2, and that means Trevor Kennard is in. A 47-yard field goal try for Kennard with Bob Cameron holding. 19 of 26, his longest from 51 away. Kennard for the tie, and he's got it. 3-3, the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Labor Day at Taylor Field. It's a sellout here, and it should be a great afternoon in Canadian football.
A tremendous year in 1990, 51 catches coming into this ball game, and you know, as we do every week on TSN, we tell you about a key matchup we're going to see. Today it's Ray Elgart against Daryl Sampson.
Daryl's one of the most solid defensive backs, I think, in the league. Plays good man coverage, and he's a physical player. And what he does best is he fits into their defensive scheme really well. They're going to try and blitz the quarterback and play man coverage, and he's a good man coverage guy.
Is Mr. Sampson in a little tough against Elgart today?
Well, I think he is. Anybody that plays against Ray Elgart is in tough because Elgart is such an imposing figure at 6'3", 225 pounds as an inside receiver. You know, he can push off against the defensive back so easily. And, of course, that's what he's kind of been famous for throughout his career. But he is a tough one for anybody. And Daryl Sampson, he's a good one. 3rd year starting from York University. He's 6'2", 175, so not overly big, but he's got the good height. So he will have his work cut out from him. We'll hear from him in a few minutes and he'll tell us how he's going to handle Ray Elgart this afternoon.
A couple of interceptions for Sampson. We await the Blue Bomber kickoff. 3-3 at Taylor Field, Regina, with 8:52 to play in the opening quarter on Labor Day. This is Albert Brown. 2nd kick return of the afternoon for Brown. Had a great one early. Flags down. And Brown breaks free. Kennard tries to pull him down. This one may come back, but Brown is headed for the end zone. Cameron can't make the tackle. Flag down, right back at the 21. 95-yard return. He has been terrific today. But I would think, Lee, they'll knock it all the way back.
Well, it's a pretty good indication when the offense starts running back towards their own end, and Bud Steen is going to tell you who the guilty party was, but nevertheless, a great kickoff return by Albert Brown, and boy, on a hot day, that's going to take a lot out of you. Emotionally, too, because you give up the touchdown.
Illegal block. Saskatchewan, first down.
Well, they didn't get the license number on the player who blocked illegally, but they did get the Roughriders stopped well back in their own territory.
Head referee Bud Steen is being awfully nice to the guys today by not fingering them on those calls. It was a great run, though, and as you see, the Winnipeg cheerleaders are here today, as well as a number of Winnipeg fans that always make this trip, which is about a 5-hour drive from Regina.
First and 10. Saskatchewan from the 15 and nowhere to go. For Lucius Floyd, a flag is down once more.
Well, that's a great job by number 8, Ken Petway, to come in from his inside halfback spot and force that play. But once again, the flag's really taking precedence here in the first quarter.
Offside, Winnipeg 52, first down repeated.
Mike Gray caught leaving a little early that time. So it'll be first and 5, Saskatchewan. Out now at the Roughrider 20.
First down and 5, they're at the 20.
Another flag, and this is Milton Jones. Nowhere for Jones to go either. Gray was in on the tackle. This time the penalty will be against Saskatchewan.
Take the 5, give the 5. This game can slow down in a hurry when procedures and the offside start taking effect.
Rough Rider coach John Gregory in here.
Saskatchewan 57, decline, second down.
Bill Polecat, Bob Foley, the right guard, got called for moving a little early. Number 57, there you see it. How about him? 13 years. He's been banging heads in this league.
So this is second and 5, Saskatchewan. From the shotgun. Austin, near side. Nice defensive play. Elgard, the intended receiver, and Sampson on the battle that time.
Sampson did a great job here. He stayed off and gave Elgard some, and then at the last second broke to the football and came over the top to knock that one away. I mean, you can't do it any better, and Sampson's height really helped here. At 6'2", he's able to come up and over the top and time it perfectly. He's been with the Bombers for 5 years, and that's the matchup that we told you about. We will hear from Daryl Sampson, but he's been with the Bombers for 5 seasons, and now his 3rd year as a starter.
Third down in a kicking situation for rookie Saskatchewan punter Mike Lazecki. Steve Zatolnik takes it at midfield. Good return as he sets the Bombers up near the 40. Stopped there by Glenn Suter. So the Blue Bombers have outstanding field position. 7:29 to play in the opening quarter. It's all even at Taylor Field in Regina. The Bombers have 3, and so do the Rough Riders.
James Murphy back in the lineup for his 2nd game after injuring a finger, and we thought a great matchup would occur this afternoon with James against Albert Brown. So we simply asked him, tell us about Albert Brown and what you can do against him.
Well, Leaf, I think Albert has found him a home here in Regina. He's playing real well. You know, he's a very physical player. He enjoys playing tough football, and that's going to be a challenge for me today to see if I can get by him, see if I can run a few hooks on him, maybe run a couple double combination patterns on him. That's how you got to beat that guy. Try and outsmart him.
From the 40, Winnipeg first down, and this is Robert Mims. Hard running inside the 40 to the 35.
You know, James Murphy talks about the double combination pattern. We're talking stuff like hook and go or an out and up, and try and fool Albert Brown with that. But, you know, if there's one guy in the league that runs the hook pattern the best, I think it's number 21, James Murphy. And Albert Brown will definitely have his hands full against one of the more cagier wide receivers around.
That is tied for the Rough Rider lead with interceptions on the season. He has 4. This is 2nd down and 5. Lee Hull can't bring it down.
You know, really, John, a rookie mistake. Lee Hull is in the lineup replacing Eric Streeter, who's out with a hip flexor, and Lee Hull, not a very experienced receiver. A rookie from Holy Cross, and you'll see as Burgess rolls to the outside. There was a lane created. Now he's expecting Lee Hull to stay outside into that lane between Richie Hall and the outside linebacker. Hull comes too far to the inside, and that pass can't be completed.
And a holding call takes the Bombers back to the 45.
The 2nd and 14 at the 45-yard line for 2nd down.
2nd and 14 now with 6:32 to play in the first quarter. Burgess to the near side. And Rodney Hughes was really not in position to make the catch.
First game that Rodney Hughes has played for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, a rookie from Delta State, and with a matchup on a veteran, Larry Hogue, the defensive back. He's been around this league for 8 years, easily won by Larry Hogue. Good coverage there. I would think head coach Mike thought of him briefly, would be a little concerned at this point. Tommy Burgess and that Winnipeg offense, who ranks 7th in an 18 league in total offense, is struggling here in the first quarter.
Here's Bob Cameron, simply the CFL's best punter. 42.9 his average on the season. He is steady. And Richie Hall is the injured Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Well, they call him the pint, and not surprising. 5'6", 160 pounds. I can tell you, he has a heart about the same size as that 5'6". He is a very gutsy little player. 3 times he's been a Western All-Star at that inside safety spot.
Came over from Calgary, former Stampeder.
Ivan Guthrie, the trainer, I can't believe it. Ivan's been with the club officially for 13 years. He was a guest trainer for a few years before that, but 13 years.
Richie Hall heads for the sidelines. It looks like he'll be back.
He will be back. It's tough to keep him out.
Too deep for the Bob Cameron kick. Cameron stands at his own 50. Here's Mark Guy on the goal line. And Guy has a tough time getting out of the end zone. He's up to about the 2. Great kick by Cameron. Sampson, the tacklers, a 2-yard return.
Well, we talk about Daryl Sampson and the matchup against Ray Elgard this afternoon. Of course, Elgard with 51 catches leading the league. And we said to Daryl, you're really going to have your hands full. Tell us a bit about Ray Elgard and what it takes to play against him.
Ray Elgard's a big receiver. He's very physical. He's the type of player that'll come off the line and really push at you and push you back and try to get separation. The main thing a defensive back would have to do against Ray Elgard is to give him a little distance, let him break on his route, and then you break to the ball. After that, you just have to hope and make the tackle, because when you go in, he's very physical and he can knock you off, and then he's going to be running to...
Jeff Fairholm. 107 yards in the touchdown. Jeff Fairholm. Elgard helped a lot on that play, but Fairholm got wide open.
Oh, and Petway, number 8, the inside halfback. He gambled and he lost. He came underneath. Austin just laid it out perfectly, and Jeff Fairholm, who has great speed anyway, but he didn't need it there because after Petway missed, it was all over. The longest pass, obviously, for a touchdown this year by any rider receiver. Probably the longest in the league. 107 yards, Jeff Fairholm, 3-year starter from Arizona.
Now, if Sampson had Elgard fairly well covered on that play, that's the strength of this Saskatchewan with 2 great inside receivers.
Oh, they are tough. You stop Elgard and Fairholm beats you. You stop Fairholm and Elgard beats you. And this is why the Roughriders have been so tough not only last year, but this year. And Jeff Fairholm with his 4th touchdown, and he has had a bad hamstring, and it looks as though the hamstring definitely 100% now.
Jeff Fairholm's 4th touchdown reception of the season. Ken Austin obviously getting congratulations from upstairs. He was on the phone. And there's green everywhere. The celebration is on right now.
Well, you know, Ken Austin unusually has not thrown a touchdown pass of over 40 yards this year. So he gets his first one over 40, and it goes 107.
Touchdown in Rough Rider history. How about that? 107 yards. Bombers set for the return. This is Hall. And he'll give the Bombers excellent field position. Stopped there by Boyko and Goldsmith.
we're trying to figure out what Celsius means.
And some of our Canadian viewers who haven't got it
I'll tell you what,
either.
I am still in Fahrenheit. I can't get used to this Celsius.
4:56 to go in the opening quarter. The Bombers first down. The Winnipeg 43. There's another Winnipeg first down. James Murphy makes the catch and steps up. Working on Albert Brown.
Well, last week, James Murphy came back into the lineup. He split a finger in practice and took about 8 stitches in the air. Very uncomfortable and painful to play with. He missed a few games and came back with a storm last week. A couple of touchdowns in their big win over the Calgary Stampeders.
They spot the ball a half a yard short of the first down. And on 2nd and 1, Burgess should have the first. No flags. 10-3, the Roughriders out in front of Tom Burgess and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Winnipeg first down at the 54. Burgess looks deep for Hall. Bombers will be called for holding. Protection looked a little too good.
Well, you know, they're second in the league in sacks given up, so you know over the most part they have done a good job.
Winnipeg number 68, first down repeated.
But that time, Rick Benjamin, the right guard, got flagged for the holding call just to give Burgess a little extra time to throw. Nick, originally a first-round pick with the Ottawa Roughriders in 1985, came over in a trade last season to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Good size, 6'3", 280 pounds. He's quick, too. You watch him pulling on any of the sweeps that they run with Robert Binns, and number 68 will be right out in front of him.
Burgess on 1st and 20. Intending it for House. And he was off target. The big guy, Ray Elgard.
Leads the league in receptions so far. In 1990 with 51 coming in this afternoon's play. But it is a hot one. He's got the towel on already, too. We haven't even finished the first quarter.
2nd and 20 now for Burgess and the Bombers. He won't get it away. Looks like Saskatchewan has come up with a loose football. Chuck Klingbeil. Pressure on Burgess. He coughed up the ball. .3:21 to go in the opening quarter. And a big turnover favors the Saskatchewan Roughriders. First down, Saskatchewan. Deep in Winnipeg territory when we return.
How you doing? Lines, and before the game, you maybe sit around and talk about some of the goals you'd like to have in the game, and I'm sure 43 points could have been one of their goals to score. But did you ever in your life think you gave up 68? I mean, I can't believe that game last night.
What did you think of Matthews going for the 2-point conversion late in the game to make it an even 70?
That was brutal.
Cal Murphy said somebody would get
You know what? I thought it was really brutal. Now, I know they were having fun, and it was a great night, and everybody was laughing and having a good time, but if you're on the other end and they're doing that to the end of the game, it's not a lot of fun.
First down, Saskatchewan after the turnover at the Winnipeg 37. Austin looks to the end zone. Narcisse, the intended receiver, and he couldn't catch up to it. Still covering on Don Narcisse.
Don Narcisse has caught a pass in every game he's played as a Saskatchewan Roughrider, and so far this year, 37 times his hauled passes in from Ken Austin. Last year, 81 catches for Narcisse. They're paying a little closer attention to him this year. Boy, he's up against Rod Hill this afternoon, too. And Rod Hill, in my book, one of the best in the game at the corner spot, all-Canadian, 89. He's going to be a tough guy to beat.
2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Austin. Narcisse makes the catch. That's a first down. Near the Winnipeg 21. 16-yard gain for Don Narcisse.
Oh, this is a great call. They send 4 receivers to the wide side of the field, and they know they get 1-on-1 on the backside with Narcisse now. he makes a great catch. The Tyrone Jones is coming from his middle linebacking spot, and he is a big guy at 6'3", 235, and Narcisse did a good job to hang on to that one.
To the end zone. Austin for Guy. He ended up with 2 Blue Bomber defenders on top of him. Les Brown was there. And David Bovell was safety.
Now, this is what you need from your middle safety. You need a guy that has some good range to get over and help out the corner on those posts. And Bovell was right there. So was Les Brown, who leads the league in interceptions with 9. But that's what you like from a young guy in the middle. Dave Bovell, in his first year with the Bombers, comes up with a good hit on Mark Guy. And Les Brown comes up limping.
It stays in. 2nd and 10. Big charge on Austin. He escapes. Has the first down. Stopped short of the touchdown near the 4. The safety, Dave Bovell, makes the stop.
Well, Ken Austin only averages about 4 yards a carry, so you know when he does this, it's strictly out of necessity. Good coverage downfield dictated that he runs with the football, and 17 yards later, he gets it down to the 4-yard line, and the Roughriders got a nice drive going after that fumble recovery by Chuck Linville, the defensive tackle.
1st and goal to go. Austin, touchdown. Narcisse was all alone. Very impressive drive after the turnover. For Don Narcisse, the Riders have opened up a rather comfortable advantage at 16-3.
Kind of unusual coverage breakdown on the goal line. You know, you expect bump and run coverage, and yet Rod Hill playing off. Narcisse just went over the goal line, stopped, and waited for Austin to deliver the football to him. Well, he made a couple of nice catches on that drive. That big catch over the middle on 2nd and 10, and now the touchdown reception to give the Roughriders a 17-3 lead, and Wellesley, they have things going pretty much their own way.
Well, they got a couple of breaks. They got the turnover, of course, and then they haven't had good field position. So they tried to Fairholm, deep in Saskatchewan territory, 107 yards. So a couple of quick touchdowns for Saskatchewan.
Well, 2 touchdown passes. Ken Austin was 16 now on the season, and he is having himself a really good year. And he's got a career already the 4th leading passer in Rough Rider history. What a great crowd here at Taylor Field. You know, capacity here is 27,600, and yet they're hoping to squeeze in 31,000 here. We'll have that figure probably later in the first quarter, but Taylor Field is jammed. They got the big shoehorn out today to get all these ones in.
Well, they're jammed in the end zone. There are no seats available, and whatever they could get into the end zone will be tallied, and we'll have the official total attendance later, but it looks like it could be a team record. This is Lee Hull. To the Blue Bombers. And Hull gives Winnipeg pretty good field position out at the 37. Boyko leading the tacklers that time for Saskatchewan.
There's the scoring drive, 37 yards in 5 plays. Of course, by the fumble recovery by Chuck Klingbeil, that gave the Riders the ball at the 37-yard line, and it took them 5 plays to get the touchdown from Don Narcisse.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders coming into this game -1 in the takeaway giveaway category, so they're back to even on the season, and they really did take advantage of their opportunity.
Burgess for Hudson. Started running before he really had possession.
Well, when he has been healthy, he had a pulled calf muscle rather, and missed 3 games with that, but when he has been healthy, he has been a huge part of their offense this season, coming over in a trade with the Toronto Argonauts. The fullback in their scheme of things at 6'2", 2 1/4. Excellent receiver out of the backfield. That time could not hang on.
2nd and 10, Blue Bombers at the Winnipeg 36. James Murphy gets the Bombers out of a big hole and a catch down near the 51 of Saskatchewan. A 22-yard reception for James Murphy. Big play, Lee.
It really was, John. You know, Murphy's such a cagey receiver. He saw Glenn Suter, the safety, coming over to help out Albert Brown, and he made a nice catch.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 7, penalty decline. First down.
say so.
What you always like about a receiver is a guy that, you know, he knows he's going to get clobbered when he catches this ball. You go in the middle, you expect to get hit, but see how he catches it, brings it back in, and then gets ready to avoid the hit. I thought it was Suter, but it actually was Larry Hogue, the safety on the other side.
28 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. The Roughriders lead 17-3. First down, Winnipeg. And Lee Hall made the catch, but had nowhere to go. Roughriders pointing to a loose ball, but it was whistled down.
Well, that play is great if you can get the block initially on the corner covering the wide receiver. That time they couldn't get Stacey Harrison. He was in to mess up the play before it really gets started. Consequently, they lose a yard.
Final play of the opening quarter. Second and 11, Blue Bombers. Ferguson traveling down again. Bobby Jurison was through number 71. For Jurison, that's his 5th sack of the season. And for the Bombers, that is the end of the opening quarter, with Saskatchewan prevailing for the opening 15 minutes at Taylor Field. It's 17-3. But a lot more football action still to come. Ready for the second quarter at Taylor Field in Regina. A third down kicking situation. Blocked. Boyko got through to block Bob Cameron's kick, and Boyko goes down and comes up with the ball. Dragged down by Bob Cameron. Riders are fired up. Bruce Boyko out of Western Michigan. There is a flag down. Hang on 1 second.
We've got Saskatchewan 58 holding after the block. It will be first down Saskatchewan, 10 yards back.
After the block kick, a holding call, but Saskatchewan maintains possession. Here's what happened.
A great effort by Bruce Boyko coming in from the left side. He went high in the air and sacrificed the old body to come up with that block punt, and not only gets the block, but gets the Riders another turnover in great scoring position.
Number 33. The guy, and he couldn't hang on.
That was too easy.
Bruce, trust me, nothing's too easy in this game.
He just sort of pushed me, you know.
But did it hurt when the ball hit you?
Yeah, Ma.
He won't tell me.
Second and 10. Saskatchewan, Winnipeg 33. Here's out far side. Elgard makes the catch. Elgard wins that battle with Darrell Sampson.
First down, Riders on
his first catch of the afternoon.
I thought it was interesting what Darrell Sampson said about playing against Ray Elgard. He said he liked to give him some room, and then when the ball is in the air, break on the ball quickly. He doesn't want Elgard to get into him and push off, and although he played it exactly as he wanted to, that pass was just too good to break up.
From the 21. First down, Saskatchewan. Good defensive coverage by Les Brown on Mark Guy that time.
Oh, you can't do it any better than Les Brown. He reads the hook quickly on Mark Guy, comes up and breaks the ball down. And you know, Les had some great years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 1985, 1986, he was an All-Canadian with them. In 1986, he won a Grey Cup with them. And you know, you always kind of wonder what happens to guys that are released like that and end up going to other teams. And you know, Les thought it was just simply a personality conflict between himself and Al Bruno. And hey, you know, that happens in this game. You got 40 guys in a team. The coach doesn't like everybody, but he's enjoying a great year in Winnipeg now.
On second and 10. A flag down. Coverage too tight on Don Narcisse. Rod Hill gets the flag. Lonely spot to be right now.
Winnipeg, number 10, in goal. First down, Saskatchewan on the 1.
Well, Rod Hill's a scrapper, and that's a good matchup this afternoon with Don Narcisse. They both fight for the football extremely hard when it's up in the air, and you'll see just the contact initiated before the ball gets there, and boy, the official has no choice but to throw the flag.
It is a first down. Saskatchewan is up. First and goal to go at the one. Another flag is down. They call it a touchdown. Offside against the Bombers. The touchdown will stand. Riders are on a roll. 23-3 now. Ken Austin himself. A little doubt about the scoring play.
Well, that's his first touchdown of the year on the ground. I guess he said this was the 9th game of the year. It's about time I got one. Heck with Nelson Jones and the rest of the guys. I deserve to get one, and he picks up his first of the year. Everything is going the right way here in the first half.
Set up that one.
2 times in a row now. The turnover to give the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A fumble recovery by Chuck Klingbeil on a Burgess fumble, and now the block punt by Bruce Boyko. That translates into 14 points in a hurry for the Saskatchewan Roughrider offense.
Well, so far, it is Ken Austin winning the rematch of 2 former Saskatchewan quarterbacks. Austin leads Burgess. Saskatchewan leads Winnipeg. Saskatchewan's Ken Austin has tossed for a couple and carried one in himself to lead the Saskatchewan Roughriders to a rather comfortable advantage.
I love y'all. Go get another one.
24-3 right now.
Talk to you soon.
Oh, he looks good, doesn't he, Wellesley? He's had everything going his way so far in his 9 starts this year.
Leading passer in the league right now with over 2,500 yards coming into this one.
He's the leading guy in that efficiency rating. And I mean, you got to be a rocket scientist to figure out this pass efficiency rating. I still have yet to figure it out, but I'll tell you, he's the #1 guy.
Here's Steve Zitelli on the return for Winnipeg. Tackled by Orville Lee out at the 32.
Only brought down by 22 Orville Lee.
Well, the Bombers will put the hook on their starter this afternoon. Tom Burgess, enter Danny McManus.
Well, you folks in Florida will remember Danny McManus as he starts for the Florida State Seminoles. And, boy, as I've said it before, if you're a quarterback at Florida State, you know how to throw the football. And those are the numbers that he's posted in 1990 here in Winnipeg in a backup capacity. You've got to love the 6 touchdowns and only 1 interception.
This is Robert Mims. And he had to fight for everything he got, perhaps a couple. McManus came off the bench last week to lead the Blue Bombers to victory over the Stampeders in a great overtime clash. 39-37 was the final. Burgess faltered last week and has not been able to move his Blue Bombers today either. Gain of 4. This is 2nd and 6. Winnipeg. McManus too far. Looked to be a mix-up. Signals out there. Rodney Hughes was perhaps the closest Bomber receiver.
But, John, it's as simple as this. When Tom Burgess was in, it seemed like every time on 2nd down, it was 2nd and 10, 2nd 11, and for Danny McManus, there's 2nd and 6. And if the Winnipeg offense continues to struggle on 1st down, I mean, they're going to be in for a long afternoon. You cannot survive the 2nd and long against the Saskatchewan defense time after time, which ranks 1st in the league in total defense. So they better start throwing the quick hooks and the quick outs on 1st down to get themselves in 2nd 3 or 4, or it's going to be a long day for them.
Here's Bob Cameron again. 2 deep for the Roughriders. Mark Guy on the return for Saskatchewan. And really maybe a yard is all he'll get credit for. 46-yard kick for Cameron that time.
Brought down by 32, Mark Sears, along with Michael Hamlin, 33.
They look
concern on the Saskatchewan bench. Jeff Farrellholm, who missed 3 games because of a problem with the hamstring in the left leg, aggravated it on that long run. So he's going to take a few plays off, see if he can stretch it out and loosen it up a little bit. And he may play a little bit later. Looks like Bruce Boyko will probably see some action for a while, guys.
Boyko has been in on the sequence already, and of course, he got through to block that punt. Here's Floyd carrying for the Roughriders for about 3.5, maybe 4 yards.
I believe that's the first time Lucius Floyd has carried the football this afternoon, and he is filling in, of course, for Timmy McRae, the starter at the beginning of the year, but Lucius Floyd has done a nice job. This is his 5th game, 26 catches. Boy, he's got some great hands out of that backfield.
Spent a little time with the Seattle Seahawks. 2nd and 6. Lost all kinds of time. Looks deep for Narcisse. It was not a catchable ball. The Rider fans still want a flag.
I kind of wanted one, too. Well, you can have a great look at it. And of course, the ruling is if you can't catch it, you can't really call interference, but Daryl Sampson gets the hook out right there. And oh boy, that looked pretty close. That's why the officials get paid that big money to make all those crucial calls. Unbelievable.
10:50 to go to the half. Mike Lozecki for Saskatchewan.
Gets a good one away. Lee Hall on the return, number 71 for Winnipeg. Roughriders special teams. And in pretty well hemmed in.
56-yard kick for the rookie Saskatchewan punter Lozecki. So it is the Roughriders leading the way 24-3 on the Blue Bombers at Taylor Field on Labor Day.
Roy Bennett was one of the great quarterbacks in this league for 3 or 4 years. He led the Bombers with interceptions with 13 a couple of years back. Les Brown leads the band of renown this year. He's got 9 in the first 8 games.
Where did Roy Bennett end up? Did he not go to San Diego and try his luck down there?
He might have, yeah.
Is he still there?
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not either. It is a hot one here at Taylor Field.
Well, there's the happy side of the field. Saskatchewan, 24-3 lead. Roughriders have really turned the season around, beating the Eskimos a couple of weeks ago. Last week they came back with an impressive win over the Tiger Cats. Today, 4 points in the opening half, and there's still 10:30 to go.
Well, they're a kind of team that if you're a head coach, you love to have. I mean, they only got one rookie in the starting lineup, and that's Stacey Harrison on the corner, who's doing an excellent job, but they didn't have to make a lot of changes this season as they started out, and Winnipeg has had to make some changes. 2 new quarterbacks in their system, McManus and Burgess. And, of course, James West, the middle linebacker, who is an all-star every year, is not playing today with a broken arm.
Bombers try something a little special. Reverse to Murphy. Murphy gets away. He has the first down out to the 50. That play almost didn't work, but he made it.
That is a major league run, and Ted Heath, who was in your picture there as the defensive line coach for the Riders, and I'm sure he's going to have a little chat with Chuck Klingbeil and Bobby Jurison right here, because James Murphy splits them right there and goes on to pick up a first down. He should have been hit for a loss.
Instead, it is a 15-yard gain. And the Bombers are out at their own 49. This is Danny McManus at quarterback now. Flag down as McManus fires to the far side. We'll see what the
Winnipeg number 69 was holding on the play. First down repeated.
First and 20. Not much has gone right for the Blue Bombers since the opening drive, really.
Scott Rettle that time, the right guard, in replacing Nick Benjamin, got cut for the holding. And boy, when they've had trouble with 2nd and 10, now you're talking 1st and 20. This is not a good spot to be in against the Saskatchewan defense.
Here's a big play by Rick House. That'll be a 1st down. 2 receivers in the area. Rick House made the catch. And that is just what the Bombers needed.
Well, I mean, you don't usually 1st and 20. You try and pick up 10 on the 1st down and 10 on the 2nd one, but they get it all back on one try here as Richie Hall gambles to come underneath, and Rick House slides in behind him, makes a nice soft catch, and Danny McManus has his first down, quarterbacking the Bombers this afternoon.
8:39 to go till halftime. Bombers at the Saskatchewan 49. Robert Mims. Good effort by Mims. He should have been stopped, but he's out with a gain of better than 7.
Robert Mims leading the Canadian Football League in rushing after 8 games of the season. Boy, you knew he was a good one if he could come into camp and beat out Tim Jesse. There, the great move on Eddie Lowe, who was an all-Canadian linebacker last year. A spin through the line, and boy, runs don't come any tougher or any better than that one by Robert Mims. He only picked up 7, but that was a lot of hard work.
2nd and 3. Stonewall went up, and Mims got nothing that time.
Well, Wayne Drinkwater, number 77, who has come into the football game with all the heat this afternoon. Both teams rotating some defensive and offensive linemen in there to keep everybody fresh as they can, and he made a great play. In fact, he's the one that's hurt, but he stuffed that hole, and they had no chance to pick up the 1st down. That's an interesting statistic. They are 1st, and they allow only 4 yards every time somebody runs the football. So if you come into Taylor Field and think you're going to establish some kind of running game in here to work the passing game off it, you can forget about it against these guys.
Hot afternoon taking its toll out here. 7:35 till the half. Saskatchewan out in front of the Blue Bombers, 24-3. Both teams coming into this Labor Day Classic with 2 impressive wins over the last couple of weeks. But the Roughriders have really gained some momentum. An impressive win over the Edmonton Eskimos.
John Gregory's been a very patient coach this year. He comes off a Grey Cup victory in '89, and of course everybody, not only in Regina but around the league, expects such great things from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And although at this point they are 4-4, they are really on quite a roll in the Western Conference and in complete control of this football game so far.
Interesting that in the Grey Cup year 1989, the Roughriders, after 8 games, had the same record, 4-4.
They feel like this is a good omen. If they can be 4-4 every year, you know it's going to be a good season.
Bombers go gambling. A 3rd and 3. McManus makes it pay off. Rick House makes the catch.
Now that's a great job by a veteran receiver. You know, House has been around for 12 years, and he has seen every zone defense thrown at him. And this time he knows where the hole is between Richie Hall, the inside safety, and the middle linebacker, Tuane Alapate. Although they blitz, they play zone in behind it, and House finds the open spot and makes a great catch. And talk about a good throw. McManus put it right on target.
1st and 10, Blue Bombers. Saskatchewan 32. McManus draws a flag. He looked for James Murphy, and a flag is down. Brown was covering on Murphy. I would guess pass interference out there.
Albert Brown walled Murphy off to the inside, and when he broke back to the corner, he got a hand on him. And
pass interference, Saskatchewan, number 4, 1st down.
This keeps the Bomber drive alive.
Well, you know, Murph wants to catch the deep one, and he felt like he could get in behind Albert Brown today. Albert Brown, exceptionally good cornerback on that left side. 2nd year, he's been the starter on the corner for them. But that's the matchup we talked about, and although Murph didn't catch the ball, he did the next best thing. He got the interference called, and the Blue Bombers finally have the drive put together here, aided by the penalty.
A 25-yard penalty sets the Bombers up. 1st and goal to go at the 7. Mims draws 2 flags. Hogue was there. Rasevich was there, and the middle linebacker, Alapate.
Well, you flip a coin on this call.
Saskatchewan number 91 in goal. 1st down on the 1.
They got the middle linebacker, Alapate.
You're going to see Alapate trying to cover Robert Mims. He's got the hand on the left shoulder pad giving him a tug. The officials thought it's a good call, and that sets up 1st and goal on the 1-yard line.
Touchdown. Mims carried through. The Bombers close the gap. At least a little. 24-9 at this stage. 6:06 till a half.
Good lead blocked by number 37, Warren Hudson, on Tuane Alapate. That's all you can ask for is one block. And then most of the time at short yardage, you have to do it yourself. You either have to beat the guy or run over him. And Robert Mims with the spin move gets into the end zone. His 4th touchdown on the ground so far in 1990.
Trevor Kennard for the point after. Keeps the perfect record for converts intact this season. So with 6:06 to play till halftime, the Blue Bombers get back in it, trailing by a couple of touchdowns, but there's a long way to go. Well, we can't keep the fans in too much suspense on Steve. We'll say that he finally got the no-hitter today.
How about that? Boy, he's tried to go. How many times has he had a one-hitter?
Boy, he has been close.
Yeah.
Not this year particularly, but last year there's a couple of times back-to-back.
Yeah, he was one out away twice. Well, good for him. Congratulations, David Steve. 3 zip the final at Cleveland this afternoon. We should also welcome our viewers on Sports Channel America who have joined us this afternoon for the ball game. We can tell you that the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the hometown heroes here, are leading the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 24-10 in the annual Labor Day Classic, a game that's always preceded by great emotion and expectation from the fans from both cities along with the players.
This is Orville Lee. He has been sensational on kick return since coming over to the Saskatchewan Roughriders from Ottawa. Another example right there. 48 yards on the kickoff return as Orville Lee sets the Roughriders up in great shape here.
Orville Lee was really disenchanted with the Ottawa Roughriders early in the season, asked for a trade, and he was granted his wish, and they sent him out west to the Western Saskatchewan Roughriders. And although he's not in the starting lineup, he's doing his best on the kickoff returns and punt returns. He's averaging 29 yards every time he touches it on the kickoff return, and that time a 48-yarder gets the offense in great field position.
First down, Saskatchewan. Lucius Ford makes the catch. He's forced out near the 42.
Yards in 6 plays by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, culminating in that 1-yard touchdown run by Robert Mims that has narrowed the gap. And some news in the crowd. 31,128 here at Taylor Field today. That is an all-time Saskatchewan Roughrider record.
What is fun to see here at Taylor Field today is the people sitting in the end zones on grass down there. They're just out with their lawn chairs. They sold some extra rush tickets for this run. Lucius Floyd. And there was nowhere to go. It'll be 3rd down.
You know, John, when you look at Taylor Field here, its capacity is 27,600 and some. And, you know, they squeeze in 31,128. You know, a lot of people are willing to pay a few bucks to come and watch a football game with a pretty lousy vantage point. There it is. Interesting enough that the previously biggest draw was Winnipeg as well on a Labor Day game. And yes, there are some good spots if you can't get into the stadium.
At the garage directly across the street here. And those tickets don't cost anything. Here's Dave Ridgway. A 47-yard field goal try. Wide this time. Lee Hall on the return, and he gets out across the 22, stopped by Lucius Floyd, number 31, Saskatchewan.
Oh, in the Canadian Football League, you not only get to be a starting running back, sometimes you get to cover kicks and work the special teams. And number 31, Lucius Floyd, who starts the running back spot for the Riders, is no exception. And he's down covering that missed field goal and makes a pretty good hit.
4:42 till halftime. 1st and 10, Blue Bombers. With Danny McManus at quarterback. out of Florida State. Winnipeg beginning at the 21. And this one, Richie Hall has inside the 5. Another turnover. Easy interception.
Well, I really don't know who Danny McManus was trying to hit on this play. Simply overthrows maybe Robert Mims, but nowhere near him. And the easiest interception that Richie Hall will ever have in his career. They call him the Pint. He's only 5'6" and 160 pounds, but size didn't mean a whole lot on that play as he came off his initial receiver and gets the interception on Danny McManus. McManus' second interception he's given up in 1990 here with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Costly one it could be with Saskatchewan. First and goal to go at the Winnipeg 4. Nelson Jones halfway to the goal.
See you tonight. That one's for you, honey. We'll be all right. It'll be a good game. Wish you were here, baby. I love you. Yeah.
There's Danny McManus and Tom Burgess. Tom Burgess started the football game, number 13. Did not have a great deal of success, and McManus in to take over from him from Florida State. A couple of years with the Kansas City Chiefs, holding the clipboard. Now finds himself in Winnipeg.
Jones stopped in his tracks. Quincy Williams stood up. Milton Jones.
He did a great job from his left end spot. He penetrated and cut the hit on Milton Jones, and then Ken Pedway, number 8, the inside defensive back, came up and supported the run to keep Milton Jones from getting into the end zone. And Milton Jones, who has been so good at short yardage situations for the Riders in his career at 6 feet, 240 pounds. He's listed at 2 1/4, but the head coach said not a chance. He's up to 240 right now. Quincy Williams with a nice play.
So on third down, it'll be Dave Ridgway.
Throwing it inside.
No mistake about that short chip shot for Ridgway. The Riders pad their total, taking advantage of another turnover. Could have been worse for Winnipeg. 3-minute warning is up at Taylor Field in Regina, with the Roughriders out in front of the Blue Bombers by 17.
A look at the CFL East Division standings with the 9th week underway. Toronto pulling into a second-place tie with Hamilton as a result of their victory Saturday night over the British Columbia Lions. In the West, it's the Calgary Stampeders and the Edmonton Eskimos atop the standings, with Saskatchewan trying to close ground. Calgary and Edmonton meet Monday afternoon in Calgary and next Friday at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton.
Blue Bomber coach Mike Riley in his 4th CFL season. His coaching record 34-28. The highlight was the '88 Grey Cup. John Gregory won the Grey Cup a year later, 1989. Also in his 4th year, in 1990.
You have to like Gregory, though. He's a real straight shooter in our meeting with him yesterday. You know, anything you ask him, he pretty near tells you about his love, unless you get too personal. Always a great guy for us to come into town and deal with, and got a nice group to work with. A real veteran ball club here in Regina. We're on a roll with looking for their 3rd victory in a row today.
Into the final 3 minutes of the opening half, the Blue Bombers with a first down, beginning at the Winnipeg 35. McManus for time. Looks to the far side for James Murphy, 21.
Murph initially ran to hook, and then it looked like he wanted to turn into a hook and go, and if you're not on the same page as your quarterback, that hook and go can end up going the wrong way in a hurry.
McManus threw an interception just moments ago. Richie Hall set up a Saskatchewan field goal with a run down to the 4. 2nd and 10. Rodney Hughes makes the catch across the 40 near the 42, but he's short of the first down.
Really been the problem for the Winnipeg offense in this first half. Just terrible first down production. So many times, 2nd and 10 or longer. Boy, boy, as a quarterback, you just can't make a living being expected to convert on 2nd and 10 all the time. I think Danny McManus has to try and establish some kind of running game or hit the quick passes out in the flat or the quick hooks. But to ask him time and time again to convert 2nd and 10 is just too tough against Saskatchewan's defense.
This is Bob Cameron. Had one blocked earlier. He's got it. No return. Mark Guy finally took the ball away from Orville Lee. And Jones, Tyrone Jones, led the Blue Bomber tacklers.
Big transition for Tyrone Jones this afternoon. He's used to playing the outside linebacking spot in their 3-4 scheme of things, but with the injury to their all-star middle linebacker, James West, out with a broken arm, and he'll be gone for 6 to 8 weeks. Ty Jones has had to move into the middle today, and I think that's a pretty big switch for a linebacker to all of a sudden change in midstream and work into the middle. His reads are totally different, and he's asked to do a lot more side-to-side tackling, a lot more running for him.
1st and 10, Roughriders, Saskatchewan 23. This is Mark Guy with a catch, and extra yards to boot. He's out to the 50. Stopped by Ken Petway, 27 yards to gain. The Riders continue to roll.
Mark Guy just splits the linebackers. Greg Battle at the outside, and then the middle linebacker Tyrone Jones. A good delivery by Kent Austin, and Mark Guy with some excellent running ability after he catches the football. He has some great speed, 4.4 for the 40-yard dash, so when he gets his hands on the football, he's got some jets to take care of the rest. 27 yards on that pickup. Second catch for him this afternoon.
Another Saskatchewan first. This is Lucius Floyd. He has 5 yards out to midfield at the 55.
See the difference between the offenses, John. A quick pass on 1st down to Mark Guy. Now that's an easy pass to complete. He ends up picking up 27. Now the sweep to Lucius Floyd. He's got a good 6. Now 2nd and 4, and a pretty good spot for quarterback Kent Austin to be in. And really, quite simply, that's been the difference in the two offenses this afternoon. Saskatchewan, good 1st down production. Winnipeg hasn't been able to get anything on 1st down.
They mark that a gain of 6, 2nd and 4, Roughriders, just across midfield into Winnipeg territory. From the shotgun, Austin, kicks for Elgard. Sampson knocks it loose, recovered by Les Brown, momentarily, and then kicked out by Ken Petway. Accidentally, it'll be a Blue Bomber possession. Nice looking play that went awry at the very end, Lee.
Well, it's a super throw by Ken Austin. Look at the time his offensive line is giving to him. Great protection, great sight lines for him to look downfield, and you get that kind of time to throw. He's going to pick out an open receiver, and Les Brown finally shakes the ball loose at the end of that pattern. And Ken Petway dribbles it soccer style out the side door, and Winnipeg takes advantage and gets a turnover.
The quarterback did not be faulted for that. Good defense by the Blue Bombers. Could be a key play for Winnipeg. With a minute 31 to go to halftime, if the Bombers can get a drive here, score some points, second half could be a lot more interesting. Hughes, the intended receiver, it bounced once. No catch.
What a job by number 3, Larry Hogue, the 8-year veteran who spent some time with the Calgary Stampeders, graduate of Utah State. And, you know, Saskatchewan in the zone coverage on 1st and 10. He just broke at the right time. It looked as though the receiver was open initially, but he stretched out that tall 5'7" frame of his and got a fingertip on the football.
Second and 10.
Once again.
Picked off. Richie Hall has his second interception in front of Rick House with a minute 21 to go. Struggle continues for Blue Bomber quarterback.
Well, 2nd and 10 once again. It seems like it's been that situation all afternoon for the Bombers. Richie Hall has done a great job. He was an all-star in the Western Conference last season. 3 times he's been an all-star. He gets the interception. There is the reaction of Danny McManus. The second interception he has thrown. It's taking over for Tom Burgess in a relief role, and not much fun when things don't go your way.
4th Bomber turnover. The Roughriders try and score quickly and do. Mark Guy 25-yard touchdown. Austin on the first play after the turnover.
Well, John, it's not like they're picking on the easy guy. I mean, they're going against Les Brown, who's the league leader in interceptions. Mark Guy with that quick 4.4 speed simply outruns Brown into the end zone. As you know, all the great quarterbacks I've watched over the years in the CFL try to do to get the turnover and hit the big one right away. And Kent Austin able to do that with Mark Guy.
34-10. The Roughriders in a waltz here so far. Turnovers very costly. Danny McManus has thrown 2 interceptions since relieving quarterback Tom Burgess. One cost Winnipeg a field goal. The second interception cost the Bombers a touchdown by Mark Guy.
Well, it's interesting. We talked at the beginning of the show that if there was one tiny criticism we could make of Kent Austin this year is that to add a little more balance to the offense, he had to get Mark Guy involved a little more. And boy, involved he gets him quickly as they hit for the 25-yard strike. The touchdown, and 24 of the 34 Saskatchewan Roughrider points today have come directly from Winnipeg turnovers. Not a great mystery to this game. You give the ball up, you get scored against, and that can tell the story in a hurry.
In recent memory, this is the 24th meeting of Saskatchewan and Winnipeg on Labor Day afternoon. The Blue Bombers have won 12. Saskatchewan has won 11. The Roughriders look ready to even the count here today. Steve Zatilny on the Bomber return up to the 25. Penalty.
Illegal block. Winnipeg number 79.
Rob Kripko. 1 minute 10 till halftime.
Look in the right-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see the illegal block. There it is by Rob Kripko. You cannot hit the guy in the back. The referee saw it. Once again, Winnipeg starts from deep in their own territory.
Warren Hudson. Alapati, the middle linebacker, made the tackle. Tuane Alapati. Alapati from Washington State.
Well, he has his 6th start this afternoon, John. The regular middle linebacker, Dave Albright, has been out for some time with a bad toe. He is back and slowly getting himself back into playing condition.
Murphy was the intended receiver. Murphy and Suter shoving down there. The wide receiver and the safety.
It's been that kind of a day for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Not a great deal has gone their way, and it's a little edgy when things don't go right. We'll see at the end of the play. And Suter comes in and gives him a little love tap. Not much, but it doesn't take much at this stage of the game to set you off.
50 seconds to go till the half. For Hughes. Covered by Larry Hogue. Rodney Hughes making his first start. I think the Bombers missed Perry Tuttle a little bit out there late.
Whoa, the old KG veteran from Clemson, Perry Tuttle. Folks remember him. He was with Clemson Tide for Clemson Tigers. Perry Tuttle sorely missed. So is Eric Streeter. I mean, Eric Streeter, an outside receiver, not in the lineup today with the hip flexor. I mean, those are 2 big guys missing, and it's tough to pick up the load.
Boyko tries to get through to block Cameron's punt again. Cameron gets it away, and this is Orville Lee on the return to the 45. 36 seconds till a half now. Saskatchewan in some difficulty.
in the opening moments, but not for long, really. They had bad field position until they broke loose for a big touchdown.
Well, Bruce Boyko coming pretty close to blocking another one. You recall he had one earlier that set up a touchdown, but Ken Austin with 36 seconds remaining would like to add to this total.
Lucius Floyd makes the catch, and a great one at the 20. A 25-yard gain, big hit by Dave Bovell on Lucius Floyd, but Floyd held on.
You know, this is tough for a quarterback. Austin knows he's throwing up a sucker pass, but the only way he can get it over the linebackers, and Lucius Floyd makes an outstanding catch.
From the shotgun, Austin behind Mark Guy. 20 seconds to go to the half.
Well, Ken Austin had a super first half. 12 of 20, 275 yards, 3 touchdown passes. I mean, those are some great numbers for one half of football. 280 yards.
5 300 games for Austin already this season, so he'll make it 6 today, I would guess. This is Pitcher, a newcomer in the Saskatchewan lineup. Dave Pitcher, playing in his second CFL game. 20-yard catch from Austin.
Well, he played some junior football with the Okanagan Juniors, signed with the Riders as a free agent, but he's got some great size. He's 6'2", 220 pounds, and just with the injury to Jeff Fairholm this afternoon, Bruce Boyko and David Pritchard getting a chance to play, and there you saw it. That's his first catch ever in the Canadian Football League.
Austin looks to the end zone. Narcisse.
Oh, baby! What a catch!
Don Narcisse, an amazing reception. His second of the afternoon, and Rider fans are delirious. 7 seconds till a half.
Well, the nice thing in the Canadian Football League, you can be 20 yards from the goal line and still throw the bomb with the 25-yard end zone, and folks, they don't get any better or prettier than that one right there. Donald Narcisse with his second touchdown of the game, and wow. It didn't take long, did it?
It's a blowout, 41-10. The Roughriders lead the Blue Bombers. Austin has been amazing.
Who had 81 receptions a year ago, comes up with his second touchdown of the football game, and this is a pretty one.
Don Narcisse, 4 of 48, a couple of touchdowns, 48 yards, 2 TDs. Austin has been a terrific story, though.
Doing okay? Selena be home tomorrow, so look forward to it. Catch the ball, get on the ball. Hey, I'm back in there.
Pretty happy group there. Ken Austin now 14 of 23, 320 yards. The 6th time in 1990 he's gone over 300 yards per game.
Time running out of the Blue Bombers in the first half. Zatilny gives Winnipeg good field position, but they won't get a chance to take advantage of it. Ken Austin out of Mississippi has the hot hand this afternoon in the Labor Day Classic at Taylor Field, Regina. It's an all Roughriders in the opening half. Our game of the week on TSN, the Blue Bombers in big trouble against the Saskatchewan Roughriders after the opening half, 41-10. Bombers on the return. This is Steve Zatilny and the Roughriders. John Hoffman makes the tackle on Zatilny.
Here are the statistics from the first half. 346 total yards for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The turnover is really a big part of the story. Turnovers have been a big part of the story in virtually every game we do this year. 4 for the Bombers, absolutely critical in the first 30 minutes.
and 10, Bombers to get the second half underway. They begin at the Winnipeg 34. Long way back for Danny McManus and company. Looking long for Rick House. He makes the catch. And they rule it complete. Right on the line at the Saskatchewan 41.
Well, you can't have any better coverage than Richie Hall had right there, because he stayed on the inside hip of Rick House, but a super throw by Danny McManus. And watch Rick House at the end here as he goes back up and over the top of Richie Hall. Now, House is 5'10", Richie's only 5'6", and that 4 inches meant the difference as Rick House came up with his 4th catch of the afternoon. And really, you know, they're getting smoked this afternoon, but he's had a great year.
From the 41. Charges on McManus. Alapate coming through to sack McManus.
Well, the blitz is on by the Rider defense, and Tune Alapate, number 91. Warren Hudson says, "Ole," as he goes by, and Danny McManus pays the price as he takes the hit, and the ball well short. Alapate, 6th start in the middle from the University of Washington in his 2nd year. Make that Washington State. 2 years he's been with the Roughriders. Played 6 games for the Riders last year. 6 games this year so far.
2nd and 10. Charges on again. McManus got it away. Intended for House. Richie Hall covering.
Now once again 2nd and 10, and this is a tough defense to throw against 2nd and 10. They squeeze down those lanes in the zone coverage, and that time really no place for McManus to thread the ball into Rick House. So once again they have to give it up, and it has been a long afternoon for the offense of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. For the front four of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, they've had a lot of fun.
Tickets for $100 each, only 13,000 tickets are offered. There will be a prize for every 52 tickets sold.
Bob Cameron had one blocked earlier today. Guy and Lee deep for Saskatchewan. Orville Lee in the end zone, and he'll concede the single points. Following this afternoon's game, we'll present the Turning Point, brought to you this afternoon by Firestone. Well, it's now 41-11 for the hometown Roughriders.
How's it going in UP? Mom, Dad?
Saskatchewan first down. Out at the 35. Ken Austin looking for more, throwing deep. Elgard, nice catch. He slowed down at the last possible second and dragged it in. 29-yard gain.
When you're throwing the long bomb, sometimes the easiest play for the wide receiver to make is to have it underthrown and then adjust back to it. Very difficult for the defensive back, in this case Daryl Sampson, to make the adjustment back to the football, but Elgard does it perfectly. Austin underthrows it just a touch, and watch how he fades and drifts back to the outside. No push there, but didn't get caught for it. Ray Elgard adding to his league-leading total in receptions this year.
1st and 10, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg 46. Austin still with a hot hand. Orville Lee. Stopped by Greg Battle. Not much of a gain.
Well, it's okay to run play action, but really the Saskatchewan Roughriders, although they're well out in front in this ball game, never really established the run this afternoon. So to expect the linebackers to honor the fake, you just won't get it. And Greg Battle, number 34, wasn't fooled at all, and he was up quickly to make the hit on Lee and hold it to only about a 2.5-yard gain.
It's 2nd and 8. Flags go down. Time count violation likely against Saskatchewan.
Time count, Saskatchewan number 5.
It's been about the only thing that's gone wrong for Ken Austin since he began this ball game.
Boy, I'll say he's had a good afternoon. You know, I mentioned in the halftime highlight package, 6th time already in 1990. He's been over 300 yards. Only took him a half to do it this time. And Richie Hall, there he is. A couple of big interceptions for him this afternoon.
Austin from the shotgun on 2nd and 13. Elgard makes the catch, and he's down to 25. Petway making the stop. That's Ken Petway.
Well, Ray Elgard at 6'3", 225 pounds, is an imposing target as an inside receiver. He works across the field in the zone. Dave Bavell, the middle safety, cannot get up in time to make the play. And boy, he has great soft hands. And for a big guy running downfield to have those kinds of soft hands, you know you're going to have a great career in this league, which he has done. Forecasted today. That gives him 55 on the year. He's #1 in that department. And of course, he is the all-time leading Rough Rider receiver in the Rough Rider history.
Elgard struggled a little bit last season. He was hampered by injuries, and Jeff Fairholm came to the fore as the Rough Riders' leading inside receiver most of the way last year. This year it's been a little different. Fairholm has had some injury problems, including a hamstring that kept him out of 3 games earlier this season that he aggravated earlier today, catching a 107-yard touchdown toss.
Well, John, what you like to see in a receiver, I mean, 2 weeks ago against the Edmonton Eskimos in a big win, he had 182 yards in receptions. That was a personal best for him. Last week in Hamilton, he has 199 yards, which becomes now his personal best. So week after week, I mean, he is getting the job done.
From the 25 of the Bombers, first down, Saskatchewan. Good fake by Kent Austin. Boyko makes the catch. He's halfway to a first down. Bruce Boyko. He has filled in for Jeff Fairholm since the second quarter. 5'11", 190.
8 yards on the play. Second and 8 for second and 2.
Look at 6'3", 208. Boyko from Michigan.
Cut him short on those 4 inches. He'll be up here in a hurry to have a chat with you on that.
Fairholm is 5'11", 190.
Taken in the second round of the 1990 draft by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And, of course, they are a team that has great depth in their Canadians. And let me tell you, folks, you're only as good as your Canadians in this league.
Another Saskatchewan first down. Second and 2, Orville Lee.
We really see the difference. You know, Saskatchewan second and 2 there. And well, you can really call any kind of play you want. You can run it, throw it, but the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this afternoon, always second and 1 for them, and that, in my opinion, has been a key factor in this game.
Slight delay. Orville Lee. Touchdown. Orville Lee danced into the end zone, and the Rough Riders are out in front. 47-11.
Well, he makes a great move at the point of attack to get away from number 35, Tyrone Jones, who's the middle linebacker. And you know, Tyrone Jones is not used to playing in the middle and taking guys on head-on. He makes most of his tackles from the side. Might be a factor, who knows? Nevertheless, Lee gets in with the touchdown. The Riders just keep pouring it on.
10-yard touchdown by Orville Lee. Convert by Dave Ridgway. The Rough Riders continue their walk over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Back to Taylor Field in Regina, the Labor Day Classic here this afternoon. Blue Bomber field goal kicker Trevor Kennard in his 11th year out of the University of Alberta. Looks back fondly on some Labor Day games past. We talked to him just prior to the game today.
It seems like every game here on Labor Day is either a one-point victory either way, but a game that really comes to mind is a game in the mid-'80s when the Saskatchewan punter, Ken Clark, it was actually a negative memory for us with the Bombers, but a great one for Ken Clark. David Ridgway had been injured early in the football game, and Ken Clark came on the last play of the game to kick a 41-yard field goal into the wind to beat us. And I felt very, very good for Ken Clark, but I felt very bad for the Winnipeg Football Club.
An unhappy Labor Day memory for Trevor Kennard, likely repeated here today. It does not look at 48-11 like this is going to be a one-point ball game.
I don't think so. But I remember Kenny Clark's kick that day, and Kenny Clark was a remarkable athlete. Actually, he did punt in the Super Bowl for the Los Angeles Rams.
On the return for Winnipeg, this is Steve Zatilny, number 20. He's had trouble with his footing all afternoon and falls down once more at the 25.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have done a lot of damage in short order in this game. Here they are again with the ball with under 3 minutes. They go 75 yards in 6 plays. And capping
The 8-11 is going to be a little bit difficult with the way the offense has played.
Well, the defense has really done a job. You know, they lead the league in 25 interceptions this year and created a lot of opportunities for their offense. Maybe it was the knee in the old noggin that hurt Steve, but he is up, which is always a good sign, and making his way off the field. The faster of the Zatoni brothers.
Saskatchewan backup is Jeff Bentram out of North Dakota State in his 4th year with the Roughriders. He's dressed for all 8 games this year, played in 3. And we might see him before this is over. We will not see James West for 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, he broke the arm in 2 places. They inserted a plate, and he told me this afternoon it'd be 6 to 8 before he'd be back in the lineup.
Here's Robert Mims. Big break for the Bombers as Mims carries all the way to the 50 and across. Best run of the afternoon for the Bombers. Gets him out of a degree of difficulty near the 25.
One of the reasons why Robert Mims, the rookie from Kansas, leads the Canadian Football League is this ability to run with the football. He gets a great block from left guard Bob Molly at the point of attack, and then in the open field makes some moves on his own, getting by Albert Brown. Eddie Lowe finally bringing him down to the play, but Robert Mims, one of the bright stars that the Bombers have come up with in 1990.
First and 10 Winnipeg. The 53. Mims once more. And not very fortunate that time.
Boy, anytime you break a long run against this defense, I mean, you know you have either done a good blocking job up front or the running back has had a great individual effort, because they are the toughest team to run against in the CFL this year.
9:18 to go. 3rd quarter. The Roughriders have been in control since midway through the 1st. Man is off target slightly with James Murphy.
James Murphy slowed up a little bit. Albert Brown, the corner number 4, read it perfectly, and as he was closing in to make the interception, James Murphy turned into a defensive back to knock it down and keep from committing the 5th turnover of the afternoon for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Albert Brown, a speedy cornerback, played wide receiver in University at Western Illinois, and boy, I honestly think any defensive back who had some experience as a receiver is always ahead of the game, because you understand those patterns that they like to run, the combination patterns, and it seems like you always get a little extra edge, and Albert Brown is one of the good ones in our league.
Bob Cameron, the winner tag kicker, fakes this run. Wide open is Mims. And Mims is down to the 20. The old Acadia quarterback pulls out the surprise. 32-yard gain. The Bombers get to the 21 of Saskatchewan.
That's funny, John. I was talking to Bob Cameron before the game, and I said, you know, Bob, you're a quarterback, and I haven't seen you throw a punt off a pass or throw a pass off a punt in a long time. And he said, Leaf, I've had a bad shoulder, but don't be surprised if you see it today. And he threw a nice strike to Robert Mims there. There's the form that made him a great quarterback at Acadia University.
So the Bombers hold on to the ball with a first down for Saskatchewan 21. Danny McManus flags her down. McManus on target at the 15 for James Murphy. Cameron punts and holds for the Bomber place kicker, Trevor Kennard. Here's the call.
Procedure, Winnipeg 57, first down repeated.
A couple for Steve Rhoda Huskers this afternoon. This will be 1st and 15.
He will not be a popular man with that fellow right there. Mike Riley, the head coach of the Bombers, has not had a lot to be excited about this afternoon.
McManus stands in, takes the hit, looks to the end zone. Murphy couldn't make the catch. Albert Brown was covering once more.
Well, the pressure up front from Bobby Juris and the rest of that front four really forced the errant pass. McManus, just as he steps up to deliver the football, there comes Alapati on the blitz. Jurisa from the back, and really he couldn't get the mustard on the football that he wanted to. The ball a little short, and Albert Brown able to break it up.
That makes it 2nd and 15. Low that time. Do they call it a catch? No catch. Rodney Hughes tried to fake it a little bit.
Well, these are tough, you know, 2nd and 15 against this secondary who plays a good zone coverage, and they squeeze down the lanes. I mean, there are not a whole lot of places to throw the football in for Danny McManus, and well, you just can't expect to move the football time and time again when you're faced with all these long yardage situations. Mike Riley, he knows that, and I think he's going to have a talk with these quarterbacks and try and get them moving in the direction of taking some short passes on first downs, but they're going to gamble.
3rd and 15. Did he make the catch? No. Murphy tried to come up with it after it was deflected at the 21. There is a flag down. The sound of the crowd.
Winnipeg 37, penalty is declined.
You could have guessed.
Saskatchewan first down.
That was the call. 6:59 remaining, 3rd quarter. It has been the Roughriders all afternoon at Taylor Field in the Labor Day Classic. Saskatchewan leading 48-11. Dave Ridgway, 2 for 3 in field goals, 6 converts this afternoon. He is the leading kicker in the Canadian Football League with 137 points coming in today. Here's his Labor Day memory.
Well, other than the one that Trevor talked about when I got knocked out and Ken Clark kicked the game-winning field goal, probably 1987. We had a lot of wind. There was a real big wind out here, and closing down the end of the first half, we came in for a 60-yard field goal. A lot of people talk about it being a great kick, but they don't realize that I could hardly stand up because the wind was blowing into my face. No, not really. It was at my back. Anyways, it went through, so that's all my memory.
That was the CFL record for field goals. In distance, 60 yards for Ridgway on the Labor Day Classic a few years ago. Lucius Floyd. Jeff Benjamin at quarterback.
Those are the numbers for him this year. Last year, he was the 3rd quarterback in the scheme of things here. Did not throw a pass all season long, but he gets into the ball game his 4th year from North Dakota State, as John mentioned earlier. Kent Austin, what an afternoon he had. 18 of 27, 385 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. You know the statistic about him that I like? He used 8 different receivers this afternoon, and boy, when you keep everybody in the ball game, you've done a great job as a quarterback.
James McCoy, this is 2nd and 1. Milton Jones has a first down. Saskatchewan.
And he was a step away from seeing if he could go the distance. Now, I'm not so sure. Milson packing around 240 pounds on a 6-foot frame these days, and he comes up limping a little bit, but I would have liked to have seen it. That would have been, what, about the 45 here? We're talking about a 65-yard sprint there.
Would have been a long gallop for Milson.
I'm not sure Milson would have been ready for that on this hot afternoon.
Flags are down. The Bombers moved early. Benson on target. Elgard makes the catch.
Look how he sits down, just in the zone between Daryl Sampson and 76. Quentin Riggins, the rookie linebacker. I mean, you just don't teach that to a receiver overnight. You work on that craft over your career, and Ray Elgard is one of the better ones at man coverage and reading the zones. And there you see the results. 5 catches, 122 yards this afternoon. Now, listen to this for 3 weeks. I know I've said it before, but 2 weeks ago, 182. Last week, 199. And now 122 yards for Elgard. He is on a roll.
Was outside on the play. The penalty was accepted. It's now 2nd down.
Well, Mike Gray was offside on the previous play. The Roughriders come up just a little short of the first down. So this will be 2nd and less than a yard to go. .5:31 remaining, 3rd quarter. Jeff Benson is in. Relief of Kent Austin. He just needs a rest. He's been so busy. Chance of a life time for Gary Lewis, who really doesn't figure in the offensive scheme very often. He almost caught it twice.
Well, Gary Lewis is 6'3", 270-pound defensive tackle. Of course, he comes in for a little blocking power on short yardage, and boy, the thrill of a lifetime for him would have been to hang on to that football and make the catch. And boy, he would have been able to tell his children, you should have seen the catch I made as a tight end in pro football. And they would have said, Dad, you were a defensive tackle. And he'd have said, nuh-uh, not on short yardage. I was a threat. But it slipped away. I like the call.
Major foul, objectionable conduct, Winnipeg bench, first down.
Well, when they say the bench, I guess that includes everybody over there.
Take your pick.
I'm a big fan of this play. Yeah.
It's been a long day for Mike Riley already. It's a long way from over with 4:46 to go, third quarter.
First down. Benford. Big Boyko.
Hanson knocked him out.
Another Saskatchewan first down.
Now, Bruce Boyko does a nice job making that catch, but you know, Jeff Bentrup, I mean, he's got some great credentials coming out of North Dakota State. You know, in his 4-year career there, 3 times he led the North Dakota State Bisons to NCAA championships for Division II schools. I mean, that's some kind of record. And he won the Malton Hill Trophy in '86, which is the equivalent to the Heisman for Division I schools. So, I mean, he has got some great credentials behind him.
25-yard gain. Lucius Floyd. Touchdown. So Benford grabs for a touchdown.
Catch by Lucius Floyd. He's made some good catches this afternoon. Bentram reads the coverage perfectly, gets the running back on the circle pattern into the seam, and how about that? Yeah, you gotta like that kind of athletic ability. Lucius Floyd. Bentram, his first touchdown pass of the year.
Points for style on the backfoot, too. Did you see how he landed both feet together?
Who did that last night in the Toronto game? Who was it?
Ed Berry.
Ed Berry?
Interception.
Yeah. I like this. I mean, to me, it's colorful. Jeff Bentram, his first touchdown pass of the year, and a pretty nice drive he put together. Good pass to Boyko on the sidelines, and then Lucius Floyd with his second touchdown catch of the year. And folks, let's not forget Timmy McRae. I mean, he's been an all-star running back in this league, and Lucius Floyd is replacing him. So when Timmy McRae is healthy, which is about a week or 2 away, John Gregory is going to have one of the more pleasant decisions that coaches like to talk about.
Well, Bentram is added to the Rough Rider total. There are Jurison fans here. That's Bobby Jurison, of course. And he wears that distinctive headgear.
And sells them around town, too. See what's in store in September on TSN. Tackle the wildlife in the NFL. We've got a full season of Bears, Lions, Eagles, and Cowboys. And if baseball piques your interest, how about the pennant race to top off a hit season? We've got tennis at the U.S. Open and Canadians in Davis Cup action. There's plenty of horsepower with Winston Cup racing and more at the Maryland Million. And see what's happening in the CFL. We've got sports galore in September on TSN.
Oh, Lucius Floyd, the rookie from the University of Nevada at Reno, comes up with his second touchdown reception of the year, and it's a nice one over the middle. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who have had everything their own way this afternoon, including the gymnastics routine. I give them about an 8.5 for that one. They have amassed 503 yards of total offense.
Matt Pearson, the return for Winnipeg, number 32. And not much there. He stopped at the 25. The Bombers have a long way to go to hit that Saskatchewan end zone. They trail by 44.
The CFL's best defense really taking a beating today. 75 yards. The Riders go that far in 4 plays in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And the league's best gymnast, Lucius Floyd, makes it look easy on a 23-yard pass and run play from Jeff Benson.
Uh-oh, now Peter, he's going to be in trouble calling Lucius Floyd the best gymnast. I mean, the Gizmo and Edmonton's going to be on the phone in a hurry. Ed Perry in Toronto.
Dan McManus on target for Lee Hull, number 71. That's a first down for Winnipeg out to the 45. 3:47 left, third quarter. 55-11. We thought it would be a lot closer than this.
Well, we did think it would be a lot closer than this. Winnipeg leading the East. Milson Jones knew it all along. He said all was well, and I agree with him. I thought he told a good story on the last segment before the ball.
Pre-game show? Yeah, it was good.
First down, Blue Bombers. This is Danny McManus. Charged from behind. McManus unloads. Murphy can't make the catch.
He's in front of Larry Hogue. Had a shot at it.
Now Murphy almost got into the open hole, initially throwing the long bomb downfield. Now he cuts underneath Larry Hogue, who's got the deep third coverage on the outside. He almost came up with a great catch there, but it's been a tough day for not only the Winnipeg receivers, but the Winnipeg quarterbacks. It just seems as though they're ready to throw. There's always a Saskatchewan defensive lineman in their face, and the numbers indicate that for Danny McManus. It hasn't been a nice afternoon.
Looks deep again. Murphy, the intended receiver, once more. Hogue was covering. And the Bombers kick it away again.
Well, they have struggled. Only 201 yards of offense and almost 3/4 of play for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this afternoon. It has not been fun.
2:50 to go, third quarter. Cameron, usually considered the top punter in the league, had one blocked earlier today. That was only one of the Blue Bombers' early problems. Marvel Lee on the return. And that like for Lee that time, he has been terrific since coming over from Ottawa on special teams returns, but that time the Bombers had him well covered.
Well, what the Roughriders have been able to do is assemble some great backup strength on their club. Orville Lee, of course, a backup running back now. And the young fellows, Bruce Boyko and David Pitcher, the inside receivers, getting a chance to play this afternoon with Jeff Fairholm's hamstring acting up again. So this only adds to your depth for down the road to give these guys some playing time.
This is Lucius Floyd. He breaks another one for a first down. Medway, the tackle, a flag comes down after that.
Spot anything down there, Lee?
Couldn't, John. Couldn't see what it was. But I'm sure Bud Steen's going to let us know in a hurry.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Saskatchewan, number 9, punching in the head after the first down gain. It's now first down, 15 back.
Boy, those tough wide receivers. Mark Guy, 5'9", 170. Tennessee at Martin.
Well, see, he's got 4.4 speed. He's one of the faster guys out there, so he can do that. He can punch a guy in the head because he can run away and get away from it.
Right.
That's it.
Benson over the middle for Lucius Floyd. Another Saskatchewan first down out across the 35 to the 37.
That's a good read by Jeff Benson. Winnipeg back in his own coverage on 2nd and 10, and what you have to do so many times is throw underneath that coverage, and although he takes the hit on the good pressure up front for Quincy Williams, Jeff Benson hangs in long enough to complete that pass to Lucius Floyd and pick up the first down. I mean, he's directing the offense just like Ken Austin did. He don't skip a beat with having him come in there.
He wants to put some numbers up on the board, Lee. He gets a chance to play the backup. Floyd again. Close to another first down. He's about a yard short.
He got a great block from the right tackle, Vic Stevenson, who pulls and comes all the way around the left side and But when he got there, he met up with the middle linebacker, Tyrone Jones, put a good hit on him, and give Floyd credit. You know, he waited just long enough and stayed on the hip of Stevenson to allow him to make the block and then do the cut. So you talk about hitting on all cylinders. The Roughriders running and throwing as well as they have done all year long.
Short yardage team is in. This is 2nd and 2.
Throw it to big Gary Lewis again.
I like that play.
I did.
Lewis would make the catch this time, wouldn't he?
I don't think he'd miss that one again.
Orville Lee to the outside. First down and yards to spare. Forced out by Rod Hill, number 10. So the Rough Rider roll continues. 15 yards for Orville.
Kerry Bugler, who is a native of Regina, native city actually of Moose Jaw, and is the Miss Saskatchewan Rough Rider. You're going to Vancouver the way your team's playing. They might be there too.
Yes, that would really be great. I'm looking forward to it, and today sure does look like they may be going there too.
That was a lovely fur coat you won, but you won't need it today.
No, definitely not. Even the sweatshirt is plenty.
Congratulations. Have a great year, and good luck in Vancouver.
Thank you very much.
That's why I feel sorry for Peter Watt. He gets all the tough jobs, doesn't he?
Well, he got a little tongue-tied down there.
Well, she's a very pretty girl. I mean, it's understandable Peter to get a little tongue-tied on that one.
Mark Guy almost had the touchdown from Jeff Bent from so close, rolling off his fingertips. Nice toss.
It shows you Jeff Bentram's got a pretty strong arm. I mean, he falls on the 47-yard line, and he let that go from outside the 50 and went into the end zone. It was right on target.
2nd and 10. This should be the final play, 3rd quarter. Elgard had it go through his fingers, and the Bombers pick it up. Darrell Sampson has the interception. Not really Jeff Bentram's fault. He's smiling about it. It'll go as an interception. It's a hot afternoon here. But the Rough Riders are hotter than the elements. 55-11. They lead the Blue Bombers from Winnipeg. Welcome back. 4th quarter about to get underway on the TSN Game of the Week. Saskatchewan Rough Riders have put Tom Burgess back at quarterback, and Burgess connects with Rodney Hughes short of the first down.
After 3 quarters, that's the story in numbers. All Saskatchewan, 5-1 in the turnovers against the Blue Bombers, and the league's best defense has had a tough day.
No losses for Saskatchewan out there. All positive. This is Robert Mims, knocked down by Eddie Lowe. Big first down for the Bombers. Tom Burgess has not had the kind of return to Taylor Field he had dreamt about last night. Shared the duties last season. Kent Austin actually came out and won a couple of games late for the Rough Riders, but didn't get to play in the Grey Cup game. Austin started that and won it for Saskatchewan.
Richie Hall, the injured Saskatchewan Rough Rider, has a couple of interceptions this afternoon, leading directly to a couple of Saskatchewan Rough Rider touchdowns back in the first half. Tommy Burgess had a funny year last year with the Riders. He did not start the season. Ken Austin started the first game of the regular season. Tom Burgess came in and took over for him and then started 9 games in a row for the Riders. And of those 9 games, he threw 22 touchdown passes, and then he fell into a bit of a slump, and Austin took over and took it right through to their Grey Cup victory. Although in the Western Final against Edmonton, I do recall Tom Burgess coming in and having a great second half and leading them to victory, although he didn't get to start the Grey Cup game, and Austin went on to be the MVP in that game. So, you know, justice at times in this game, but there you see his numbers from this afternoon. He got hit and coughed up the football early, and Saskatchewan took it in for a touchdown, and I think that was the beginning of all his problems this afternoon.
And in relief, Danny McManus threw a couple of interceptions, so the Bomber quarterbacks have struggled at Taylor Field so far this afternoon. 4th quarter, still with 14-12 to play. We'll be right back. Rough Rider fans, care how long it takes to score here. They're happy about it. Interception, end zone. That's Hoffman's second interception in as many games.
Yeah, you know, it's unbelievable. John Hoffman, who's a backup defensive back for the Riders. Glenn Suter, or was it Richie Hall last week, got hurt. Hoffman comes in for one play. They picked on him right off the bat. He gets an interception. Now, second week in a row, he comes in for his first play. They go right after him again, and what does he do? He comes up with the interception once again. John Hoffman, 2 on the year now.
He saved the ball last week, too. They have a collection before it's over. Turnovers costly to the Blue Bombers early. That was number 6. Jeff Bunkram in at quarterback for Saskatchewan again. Lucius Floyd had a chance. Tipped actually by Tyrone Jones. 55-11, the Roughriders. En route to their third straight win this afternoon. There's lots of time left, but the Bombers have not been able to get anything going, and 44 points is a little much to ask.
Veteran with some good speed to get to the outside. Mike Gray was breathing down his neck, but he had the speed to get away from him initially and dropped a nice pass into Lucius Floyd. Looked like he might be able to make the catch, but maybe Ty Jones tipped it just at the end.
Flags down on 2nd and 10. Elgard makes another catch out of the 40. He'll have a first down. The penalty is not against Saskatchewan. I think he guessed it, as Elgard did. He'll take that one back.
Boy, the way Elgard's been playing the last few weeks, he must just be the first one in the next day to watch the film session.
81 Saskatchewan.
Oh, penalty on Ray Elgard.
But he has really been on a roll, as the entire team has, but his numbers over the last few weeks have been very impressive. Well, there you see they well over their usual production per game, over 100 yards.
Orville Lee on the draw. The Roughriders come up short. Second and a bunch, so they'll kick it away. Mike Lasecki comes in. He has not been all that busy as a punter this afternoon. His third kick only. There's a rookie out of the University of Saskatchewan. Big guy at 6'3", 200. Trouble handling the ball. Wes Brown over to pick it up. And the problems continue for the Bombers, although they do maintain possession. With 12:06 to go in the 4th quarter at Taylor Field, the hometown Roughriders continue with a big advantage.
It's a fact. There have been 9 overtime games in CFL history. Saskatchewan involved in the first one almost 4 years ago to the day. Winnipeg's been involved in 4 of the last 5, including last Tuesday's win over Calgary. There will not be overtime today.
Well, that is almost a guarantee, despite the fact that 12:06 to play in the 4th quarter. Richie Hall.
Massive cramp.
There's the diagnosis.
Massive cramp. You hear him say, my sugar's low.
First down, Blue Bombers. Burgess on the quarterback draw. Got something going. He's out to the 54.
He looked like a fullback coming through there. He's straight up the field and no intent on making a move either way. He's just going to put that head down. And boy, you've had an afternoon like this. I mean, you'd like to try and run over somebody if you can. And why don't you get that head down there and take on the big guys?
On first down, almost picked off. Hoffman almost had his second interception. James Murphy was the intended receiver. Burgess off target.
Burgess has to throw that more to the outside and not let James Murphy drift so far inside into the coverage. There's a hole out there, but can't bring them back into the coverage on that throw.
2nd and 10. Rodney Hughes, the intended receiver. No catch. The long afternoon continues for the Blue Bombers. 3rd and 10 now. 44 points pairs for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And it's been a long time the Blue Bombers have been beaten this badly. Looking back to last year when they had a 7-game losing streak closing out the season. Good kick by Cameron. Orville Lee on the turn and nowhere to go for Orville that time. Ryan Jones leading the Blue Bomber tacklers that time. Any questions or comments? Drop us a line. Carefully Pedersen, the Sports Network, 1155 Leslie Street, Don Mills, Ontario.
Only if they're good comments.
Okay, then any kind of question or comment. And we'll try and answer them for you on the CFL report prior to each CFL game on TSN.
I almost saw a grin on Gregory's face. Did you see that? A little bit.
You might think he's got this one locked up. Almost picked off. Narcisse, the intended receiver. Sampson had a shot at it. When you look at the Blue Bombers, arguably the best defense in the league coming into this game, is it a fact that they are missing James West horribly this afternoon?
Well, I think there has been right from the start a lack of intensity on the defense, and James West always is somebody that gets them excited on the field. I mean, I think it is a factor, but I think the turnovers have been the really deciding factor in this game.
Elgard had it and couldn't hang on. It's a complete pass and a fumble as the Bombers take advantage of a turnover. Coverage by Sampson. Petway picked it up after Elgard dropped it. Is that a catch, Lee?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference when it's 55 to 11. We're talking strictly statistics now, but you see Ray Elgard over the middle. Now remember, this is slow motion, so when he grabs onto the football, yeah, I think he's caught it, and then he pops it loose. Defensive back Daryl Gibson definitely was trying to knock it out loose, so I think that's a good call. Ken Petway gets the recovery.
.47 remaining fourth quarter. The Bombers get a chance here inside the Saskatchewan 35. Tom Burgess. Rick House couldn't hang on. John Hoffman covering. Made an impact, John Hoffman.
I think he's done a nice job since he's come into the football game. He's in his second year with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, backing up Glenn Suter in the middle as he has done for most of the year. 5th round draft pick back in 1988 from the University of Saskatchewan, so he didn't have to go a long way from when he graduated. Saskatoon down to Regina.
2nd and 10. Murphy wide open. That's the Bomber first down. 12 yards inside the Saskatchewan 25.
Tough day for my old buddy James Murphy. There you see his numbers. He would have liked them to be a lot more than that this afternoon, but with those 3 catches, he's only 10 away from becoming the 6th receiver all-time in Canadian Football League history. He will pass Brian Kelly, former Edmonton Eskimo.
From the 21, first down. Robert Mims. He's halfway to another first down as he gets inside the 15. Precedent had Mims covered there after a 5-yard gain. Could be a long ride back for the Bomber supporters today.
You got to have a lot of courage to dress up like that and go to a game when it's this hot.
Nice hat, though. Picked out. Richie Hall. 3rd interception for Hall, and he just goes down at the 5.
Well, he can't run anymore. Richie be going right back for the ice bags, get him on the calves. Watch how they squeeze down the lane in the zone. It looks as though initially it's open for Rick House, but Richie Hall from the outside safety spot closes back down on that hook zone, and well, you watch. Initially there's an opening, but Hall squeezes it out. 3 interceptions for the Pint.
He'll put some ice on and go back to look for number 4. First time. 8:28 to play, fourth quarter.
And he gives us his old Walter Brennan of the real McCoy's impression as he comes off the field.
7th turnover by the Bombers. It's the net man of the day. Overlay. Flashes for 4 yards.
My biggest criticism about Orville Lee when he was playing with Ottawa is he had great speed getting to the hole, but then used to dance a lot once he was there, and kind of indecisive about running with the ball at times. It seems as though he's moved to Regina. He's running a lot harder as he hits that hole.
Had a pretty nice dance for the touchdown today.
Oh, yeah. No, that was a nice run to get in there on that drop play, but boy, he looks like he has got renewed enthusiasm out west.
This is 6 Roughriders deep in their own zone. And they're out of there with a first down. Bruce Boyko makes another catch.
How about Benford now? He gives it the overhand throw. He gives it the sidearm shot now. Rich House got 3.
I love you. Hi, Mrs. Yule. Hi, Hop. Hi, everybody. Oh, it feels so good.
Well, 55 points can feel pretty good.
Doesn't feel good for Tom Burgess right there. He was making the debut back with the team against the team he used to play for, and things stuck on his way. Real gentleman, Tom Burgess. He will be back. His team will still remain in first place in the East. That is the good news today.
Roughing the passer called against Winnipeg, so the first down stands for Saskatchewan. They get extra yards, and Benford fires for Orville Lee. Comes down to the 45, almost got away. Darrell Sampson held on, however.
Good call at first down. You got to love to play action in this league with the wide field. Of course, 65 yards wide, and play action and dump it off to the back puts a ton of pressure on the linebackers for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Well, they just can't get out quickly enough to cover that. You pick up 7 yards on first down. Now you're in a great spot.
On second down, Benford for Lucius Floyd. He has the first. Across the 50 and near midfield at the 53. 72, Albert Williams covering on Floyd that time.
It's an easy game when you get good production on first down. I don't care what league it is. You get more than 5 yards on first down and things become a lot easier for you on offense.
Roughriders begin this drive back at the 5. They near midfield now. The 53, and this is Lucius Floyd adding more Saskatchewan yardage. He is inside the Winnipeg 45. A 13-yard gain.
John, I think at this point we've got to give a lot of credit to the Saskatchewan offensive line today. They blocked well for the run right there, but gave both quarterbacks plenty of time to throw. The tackles, Ken Moore and Vic Stevenson, guards Roger Aldag and Bob Foley, 15 and 13 years in the league respectively, and the center Mike Anderson has been around for 7 years. A veteran group up front that have done an outstanding job today.
No sack allowed today. Overlay. 5:16 to play, fourth quarter, 55-11. Saskatchewan been in control since midway through the opening quarter. John Gregory coming into the game with a career coaching record of 29-32-1. One more to go. Jeff Benford. Don Narcisse picked out by Rod Hill. Hill wrestled down in the end zone. David Pitcher.
Bill comes up with his fourth interception of the season. Had some of them last year when he led the league in that department with an all-Canadian, but really a little bit too late. Winnipeg Blue Bombers brought Hill a good coverage on Donald Narcisse. You folks in the United States will remember him as the first-round draft choice back in 1982 of the Dallas Cowboys. He has enjoyed a tremendous career up here in Canada with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
The fourth turnover by the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but none of it quite as costly as the one the Blue Bombers have cost Saskatchewan play. Well, they jammed Taylor Field in Regina this afternoon for what was expected to be a terrific football match. Two teams coming in on two-game winning streaks. Saskatchewan Roughriders have lived up to the billing. The Blue Bombers have not. Trail 55-11. Rick House makes the catch from the toss from Tom Burgess, but it's going to be much too little, too late in this ball game. 4:24 to play, fourth quarter. Bombers first down at the 45. Lee Hull makes the catch that time, and it's another Winnipeg first down. It's a little easier this late in the game when the other side has a 44-point advantage.
And they're giving you quite a bit of room, and they got some different guys in the secondary playing there. But
you know, for those guys, they'd like to see another couple of touchdowns for the green and white before this was over.
They'd like to stay here all day. They don't want to go home.
James Murphy. And he'll be close to a first down, forced out by Albert Brown.
Well, the matchup we talked about today, James Murphy and Albert Brown, never really materialized. James Murphy with, I believe, his fifth catch of the afternoon for not a great deal of yardage. And Albert Brown talked about the fact that he wanted to make sure he didn't give up the big one to James Murphy. And, boy, he has done his job well. Murphy with only about 50 yards in receptions.
Burgess on first down over the middle, complete to Rick. Down at the 25.
Keller and Hoffman up to make the tackle early. Rick House has had a pretty good afternoon. Just settled down in an open area, waits for Tommy Burgess to deliver the football, and he does so nicely and makes good catch.
From the 24, Burgess slips, then looks for the end zone, and Murphy was the intended receiver. Double coverage that time. Rastovich had dropped back, and so had Larry Ho. 3 minutes left in a long football afternoon for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, coached by Mike Riley. It's not a perfect day for John Gregory at the opposite side. Manitoba and Ontario have elections next week. Warren Hudson struggles for a first down. 2:44 to go. Fourth quarter at Taylor Field. The classic of Labor Day hasn't been quite that today, Lee.
Well, a game with great build-up and great anticipation between these two clubs. Saskatchewan took control early, and they have never looked back.
First down Winnipeg at the Saskatchewan 12. Robert Mims makes the catch. He's forced out about the 6. So it's been a long Bomber drive, but the Roughriders have laid off just a little bit here, allowing Winnipeg to use up some of the clock.
Well, I don't think Saskatchewan could care one bit whether the score is 55-11 or 55-18. So they just want to get this thing over with 2:21 to go and get the celebration started.
Saskatchewan will go one game above 500 to 5-4 with a victory today. Jump ball in the end zone. Lee Hall can't come down with it.
Third down on the 6.
Still 2:15 to go. 55-11. Saskatchewan leading the Blue Bombers. Third and 6. During the Blue Bomber afternoon, the third down gamble recovered by Saskatchewan. Jurison is there and Chuck Klingbeil. Jurison has the football.
Yeah, Tommy Burgess just stepped away from the center too quickly, and Bobby Jurison.
Really no contest in a dive ball between Jurison
Oh, he's a little
and
bigger
Burgess.
and a little stronger.
Yeah.
Bobby Jurison, a huge favorite in the province of Saskatchewan. Well, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have established a new club record this afternoon with 514 yards passing in the game, and a combination of Benson and Austin come up with that record this afternoon. Mostly Austin, but Benson's done a nice job here in the fourth quarter.
He really has. He engineered one touchdown march and has moved the Roughriders fairly successfully. It's been a long day for that guy. Roughriders also setting an attendance record here at Taylor Field this afternoon. 31,121. Tipped at the line.
Well, they've got a big party planned after the ball game for the players at the Long Branch Saloon, of course, which their right guard, number 57, Bob Foley, is part proprietor.
Part proprietor. I like that.
Yeah. So I know they're going to have a good time there. It's too bad we got to catch a flight out of here, or we could be the guest of honor maybe at the old Long Branch for an hour or two.
Tomorrow we'll be in Hamilton.
Yeah, that's
7:30 Eastern for the Rough Riders and the Tiger Cats. That's the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Must be confusing for our viewers on Sport Channel America tuning in, and like, what are these guys talking about? Saskatchewan Rough Riders, the Ottawa Rough Riders. Now, you got 8 teams in this league. Can they not, some of them not pick a different name? Now, what have you and I said they should play for it one year?
I think if they ever get to a Grey Cup, I think it'd be terrific to play for the name. I like that. If they both made it to the Grey Cup, they both have good teams. You play for the game, play for the name. Well, another flag goes down. Michael Allen charged with blocking from behind on the kick return by Lee Hull.
Illegal block, 33 Winnipeg on the rundown.
Well, Michael Allen doesn't fool around when he has an illegal block. He absolutely clean blocked Glenn Suter, and I guess one way to look at it, you're going to take a penalty, make it worthwhile.
Talking about the Rough Riders versus the Rough Riders in the Canadian Football League. I saw Martin Short on the Carson show trying to explain Carson exactly why this league had 2 teams with the same name.
How did he do it?
Well, he didn't do a terrific job. He just explained that, Johnny, that's the way Canadian Football League is. There's 2 teams with the same last name, spelled slightly differently.
Johnny must have had that pencil really working overtime when Martin was explaining that one.
A minute 13 to go. Burgess has a man wide open. A catch made by Rodney Hughes down at the 25.
So the Bombers picking up a lot of yardage here in the fourth quarter when the game has been out of reach, and it will look good on the statistical side of things for them, but what won't change is the fact that they got smoked this afternoon by the Riders.
I think smoked is a polite way of saying it. Timms was the intended receiver on that time. Tom Burgess. Into the final minute now.
Let's talk about tomorrow night. We've got Ottawa off the big win against the BC Lions last week. Hamilton trying to regroup. They won 3 in a row and then lost last week to Saskatchewan, so they'd like to get back on winning track. Of course, Ottawa, you know, they're thinking we win this game, we get back in a bit of a playoff race here.
See what happened to Gregory on the sidelines. They just dunked him with a bucket of ice water.
Now, they got to do something original. I mean, the New York Giants made that famous. Lawrence Taylor, the guys giving Bill Parcells the dunk, but you got to come up with something original. Good.
Time count violation. Winnipeg, number 13, now third down.
Drop the bench on him.
On the far side, Mike Riley is.
And he probably wishes they dump it on him. He's been standing in the sun over there. Gregory's in the shade.
3rd and 10. Really not much of a chance to situation there. Grippo was the intended receiver. Tough day, tough afternoon for a former Saskatchewan Roughrider, Tom Burgess. The number wasn't very lucky today. Well, the Labor Day party a success at Taylor Field. 9 turnovers by the Bombers. The early ones were terrifically costly. Slides down, and they whistle him down at that point, trying to save the quarterback wherever possible up in the Canadian Football League.
Down behind the line of scrimmage.
42 seconds to go.
Minus 2 yards on the play. Second and 12 at the 24.
Second and 12. 24 seconds to go. Bedford spins it over the middle. Floyd made the catch. Short of the first down.
Third and 9.
Saskatchewan Roughriders have 4 games against Eastern Division opponents coming up in the next few weeks. Get the Ottawa Roughriders next. Mike Lozecki has had a relatively easy afternoon as the Roughrider punter. And this kick will be the last play of a long football afternoon for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Barring a penalty, of course. And Pierce to the 50. The Roughriders get a standing ovation. Win number 5. And that is the 3rd win in a row for Saskatchewan. Tough day for Mike Riley, Lee.
Yeah, it really was. Nothing seemed to go right from the start of the game for John Gregory, who got the Gatorade shower and went right for his ball club. They were very well prepared for this game. Had a super day. In fact, they established a club record in passing one afternoon, so things look pretty rosy for John Gregory. For the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, hey, look, the good news is they still are in first place in the East, and they regroup and get ready for next week and take it from there. These kind of games, 55-11, you just take the film, deposit it in the garbage can, and then move on to the next game.
6th star of the game was the quarterback who started for the Roughriders. He had another terrific day. That's 3 in a row.
A couple of guys on defense had some pretty good afternoons, too.
All right, Peter.
It was the Bomber defense all the accolades. It was the Roughrider defense that did the playing when the final kick was, first kick went off. None better than Richie Hall, number 7, with not 1, not 2, but 3 interceptions on the day. And he's a worthy candidate for our Molson MVP Game Star. Great performance by the Roughriders on both sides of the ball. The final, 55-11, Saskatchewan beats Winnipeg.